We are live. Welcome to the Renegade podcast. I'm your host, Dashing Rogue, with my frequent sidekick, Artistic Layman.
So you're going to tell us everything you know about that tech and what you meant about kidnapping, or I let my flying friend here cut loose.
That's not happening.
Then I'll cut loose.
Miss Lane, please don't threaten people. It's wrong.
Fine.
What does she say as a result of that?
She just says, I'll just be overly concerned.
Jeez.
And it doesn't get much better
aggression.
from here. It doesn't get much better. The series doesn't get much better from here because it never was good, so it can't get any better.
Well, wait, if it was never good, how does that work? So does that imply that it was like destined to suck? What is this movie, by the way?
Oh no, this is the latest episode of My Adventures with Superman.
Oh, the one where they have the chick from freaking Owl House, right?
Yes, that
or
was
Cos-
her.
or like Soy Casca, or her name is.
Mm-hmm.
Soy Casca. You know, I'll be frank with you. I kind of find that the Casca haircut kind of cute, even though I don't like short-haired chicks. I really don't. But it's still, it's nice. Let's just say
It looks nice animated.
it does. It does. It truly does. What's your opinion on the Princess and the Frog 2009? Is there a difference? Is there something different than Princess Frog 2009?
Different about what? Well, it's their last 2D, pretty much their Disney's last 2D feature, which is kind of tragic.
That sucks.
At least, or could be for now. I mean, they could find something profitable like 2D animation later.
Profitable? Is that what it's all about? Profitability?
Yes, always.
No. I mean, like, if they're looking, maybe I'm incorrect about this, but like, if they're looking at the animation style of what is profitable and what isn't, you're not thinking like Walt would have thought. Walt was willing to bankrupt his life essentially for like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I don't think they're gonna do the same with the Colombian White or in the Seven Dwarfs.
We're not talking about Walt Disney. We're talking about the Disney Corporation, and no matter what they do, it's always going to be too expensive.
You know, honestly, I think that there's a point in each life cycle of every freaking corporation out there where once, you know, either the management of the family or they just get too big, they eventually just die out. They just become, you know, mediocre. I mean,
just as surely as the law of everything not explicitly right wing becomes left wing, everything that's not corporate becomes corporate.
Yep. Just such as the way of life. So say we all. One of the things I was going to talk about today, let's see if I can pull it up here on my, how should I say it? Here we go. So, here we go. This is something that this is like, we have this guy, we've talked about this guy before, an atheist type of guy. The reason I titled this whole freaking podcast because of it's Groomed, right? Triple X says the main villain's power comes from a cult, and I feel like I feel like you'd like his defeat. Yeah, I got friends on the other side. I like that guy. Very nice guy. But honestly, like, if you really want to know what a lot of the occult shit is, everyone's just getting high end shit. That's really ultimately what it is. Like, people are getting roofied, and like if you actually look into Africa, like Haitian Voodism and shit like that, or voodoo, they actually do drug people like with pufferfish venom, and then they like put them under because they think they're dead, right? It's like Romeo and Juliet potion type of shit, like quite literally in that regard. So that raises more questions about the priests, so to speak. But apparently, besides the priests, we've been groomed, Luke. We've been groomed. Yeah. How conservative Christianity groomed us? We're fucking we're the archonic shitlords. Never remember that.
Were they sexually molested, or is this just all metaphorical?
Just play the clip. Play the clip.
Oh, it's all metaphorical.
It's not metaphorical. It's allegorical.
Let's see what we got here.
Allegorical.
Let's see, what is this? Oh, what's it? Oh, and they put the little tag about conversion therapy too.
Yep.
Because apparently Drew's stupid to know that this video is going to denounce it, and gotta put a link for the Trevor Project here.
I think anyone who clicked on this video is aware that the word groomer is being thrown around a lot, specifically in reference to the LGBT community, drag queens, trans people especially.
Yeah, I wonder why.
So what grooming actually means is a person conditioning another person so that they'll be vulnerable to abuse. This could mean showering someone with affection, normalizing crossing personal boundaries, normalizing giving authority over one's body to another person, that kind of thing. What we're seeing today, though, is the word groomer being used as a buzzword. It is something that's put in headlines, in titles, in order to get people to click, in order to get people to pay attention, because it's a word that strikes fear. We've gone from...
That's what you're doing in your title.
You literally are playing the victim here. You know that, right? Like, you're doing it for clicks too.
Now to be fair, no, we haven't heard his argument yet, so we shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet.
Yeah. Let's never mind the fact that this guy. Again, I liked some of his older stuff, but at the same time, ever since this heifer showed up with the nose ring and everything, right?
Does she have to look like her worst stereotype?
She has to look like she's the bull of the relationship.
Oh no.
From using the word grooming or groomer to describe pedophilia and adult men forming rape gangs to teenage girls, to using this word to describe literally any influence whatsoever toward the normalization of non-traditional gender ideas. So if...
Yes, because they include sexual degeneracy. Because they include sexual degeneracy, you idiots.
Well, here's the problem. He doesn't have any moral values. He doesn't have, and if he does, he doesn't want to posit them in any meaningful way that's like that is in the positive, not in the negative. He can only tell you what he doesn't like. So like this guy's open to like BDSM, and I say open to BDSM. That's not like me trying to say he's actually into it, but he would be open to opportunities. Let's just say. Keep going.
If you are even saying, you know, being queer is fine, it's not a bad thing to be queer, then you are a groomer by many people's definition now.
Acceptance has become grooming.
Exactly. This is...
Well, yeah, because that you accept with the conditioning that's been put upon you.
You've accepted the natural state of which the yoke of your slavery. You've accepted that.
Not to mention that the whole notion of queer is an explicit rejection of normal society. So what's normal society? Degenerates.
Yep. And at the same time, you've eaten. He's drinking the Kool-Aid of knowledge, dude. He has. He's been drinking. He's drinking the Kool-Aid of knowledge. It's apple flavored, by the way. Let's put you out there.
A fear tactic. This association is intentional. It is a weapon in an ideological war against everything and anything that is not traditional in regard to gender. Actual grooming doesn't always have to do with trying to pressure a young or vulnerable person into immediately engaging in some kind of non-consensual sex act. It can also have to do with just long-term efforts to shape someone's worldview in order to make them give authority or power over to someone else so that they're vulnerable to abuse.
That means tricking them.
He's going to get into he's going to get to the point where he's going to say, "How dare the parents have a right to raise their children as Christians?" You watch.
Now, what's really ironic here is that the people who are making these kinds of accusations against queer people, using the word groomer constantly, are often people who are aligned in some way with the Christian church, with evangelical culture, with the Catholic Church somehow. And if we're to be completely honest here, there is no other institution which has more systematic and institutional means to control and entirely shape, from a young age, children, young people, even adults' attitudes and ideas of sexuality and how authority interacts with sex and gender.
What about Sargon of Akkad? What about Carl Benjamin? What about
that's why these guys are infiltrating the schools, because that's the only other place that has more influence.
Well, hang on. He just said that a lot of this pushback of the groomer crap is conservative. It's not conservative. There are fucking liberals who are like, you know what? I was all for gay liberation and all that shit, but you've managed to make your bed on Main Street. So now it is my problem. You want to do what you want to do in your own bedroom on your own time, fine. But now they've made it everyone's problem, and now they're getting in everyone's face about it.
James Lindsay is explicitly liberal. He explicitly states and defines himself as liberal, and he says, no, this is disgusting, this is wrong, it has no place in schools.
Yeah, but he's conservative, so he doesn't count.
Whatever that
and
means.
he's a narcotic oppressor. He's not gonna join the magical revolution. Hey DZ, how you doing? So let's keep going.
Saying this isn't inflammatory in some way. In fact, these churches just loudly and proudly proclaim that, yes, we do teach children how they should view sex and gender and these kinds of issues from a very young age. We do teach them that they can only think this way. That's a good thing. So we thought that it would be helpful to talk...
Yes, that is a good thing. Not being sexually molested is a good thing.
Not being sexually molested, not being, not making your entire life a countdown to your 18 or of the legal age. is a good thing.
And especially and not being sexually promiscuous, which is not beneficial to anyone, I might add.
Yeah, you know, I keep looking at this chick, like I'm looking at her right now, and she just looks like the total bitch.
Perfect, frozen at the perfect moment.
Yeah, she is not amused.
Methods of indoctrination that are at play here and how we have experienced them ourselves. To be clear, most of the adults who engaged in this kind of behavior that manipulated or influenced us in these ways that we're about to talk about did not intend any harm, and in fact didn't take advantage of us in any overt way. But that doesn't change the fact that these methods are still unethical, they're still manipulative, and if they were done by people who were not Christian, would be considered grooming. And finally, one more thing before we get into it.
What the fuck are you on about? Okay. Skip ahead a bit. Like, just skip ahead a bit to the point where they start talking. Here, there we go. Go.
Responsive to his leading. But today's children need our help. Around the world, 1 billion kids, half of all living children, suffer physical poverty. Meanwhile, children in developed nations live in spiritual poverty. So let's give our very best, where it counts the very most. Let's see children with the same great stature that God does, because the best way to shine light into a dark world is through open windows. Visit 4to14window.com. Win the heart of a child across the street or around the world while the window is still open.
Wow, it's like an actual website?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like a saying?
No, I mean, this is huge. This is huge in evangelical culture.
Now that I think about it, I mean, I think I was like 7-ish when I like gave my life to Christ. So that, you know, it falls into that window there. I wasn't taught the 4 to 14 window. That was a phrase I hadn't heard before. But the religious community that I was surrounded with, they definitely push this idea that it's better to instill children with Christian beliefs as young as you possibly can so that they have a foundation on which to build their belief. And looking back, that makes sense because it's easier to indoctrinate children who haven't developed their critical thinking skills
who have
yet.
Tender, trusting hearts.
Yeah.
Something I want to make clear,
which is the whole point of the drag story hour. That's the whole point.
Well, it's also the fact that if you were to rationalize childhood to somebody, you basically would be like, he's just a kid. Let him go, officer. That's basically ultimately what it is. If you trained a child, and I'd say like from, let's just say like 13, 14, and gave him the knowledge of, let's say, a 20-year-old, that kid would basically just be de facto an adult at that point in the game. Because a kid can kill someone. I'm not saying the kid should be allowed to, fuck around. Obviously not, right? But, like, if he has the knowledge, which he doesn't because he's a fucking, still a fucking kid, he should be tried as an adult. Right? He should be held as accountable as an adult. But the problem here is that there's an assumption that if we don't teach these kids critical thinking, which again sometimes stuff just you just have to do as I say, not as I do. You can find plenty of reasons not to eat healthy, plenty of reasons to eat healthy, but you ultimately should be following what your father says, right? Wolf from Pepper says, I'm not defending these guys, but I will say the church doesn't have healthy perspective on the dead, and as a result, they don't have a good foundation to debate the issue. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know about that. Keep going.
Let's see if I got this nice little quote here.
Projection of abstract concepts onto minds that do not think in abstracts. If you have children, you learn this really quickly. If you don't have children, you can read about it plenty, but kids think very concretely until they're like teenage years almost. Like very concrete. At first, it's so simple that babies have permanence issues, right? Like, if you leave the room, you don't exist until you come back to the room. It takes them a while to learn that you exist outside of their immediate awareness. And so they start to get used to you after a while, but it's that concrete, and we have to break this down into very complex subjects as they get older.
I see.
This isn't just talking about teaching children about Jesus. This is talking about teaching children traditional gender roles, gender norms, things about sex, things about authority, everything that goes into the Christian package all wrapped up and delivered.
And what's wrong with that?
And
please
why are we talking...
Please tell me he's going to explain why that's wrong.
It's 4 from 14, right?
Yeah.
So they want to have that conversation about sex with a 4-year-old, I assume.
Well, I hopefully it'll take something to the effect of mommies and daddies are the ideal.
That, or, a boy could be a prince as well, a princess as well, like the Gonzo shit.
No.
So,
boys can only be princes and girls can be princesses. That's it. No.
Yeah. But here's the thing that I'm trying to get across here. What are they really referring to? Because if they're going to talk about Christianity and trying to raise your kid with morals, that's one thing. Well, if we're talking about sex, like talk about because sex, pagans have sex, so do Christians have sex. Everyone has sex. Okay, atheists have sex. Monkeys have sex. Everyone has sex. That's sort of what we're dealing with here. But again, what they want is they want to have hegemon. They want to have the hegemon. They want. Oh my God, they really do want to groom kids.
Well, this is
like
let me see if I can find the website.
Well, no. This is a Christian site, right? But the difference here is their counter argument is we want to talk about different alternative versions of sexuality, and like they're like 5 or 4
to 4 to
so
14.
Like, yeah, they're talking about how they're being groomed by Christianity, and I'm thinking to myself, being exposed to Marcus Aurelius at like 5 is not grooming. Like when we're talking about grooming, they're talking about like exposing them to alternative sexuality. That's grooming there.
Yeah, you don't tell kids about that stuff. No,
like you could tell people about Ayn Rand if their kid's willing to listen. You could talk about Marcus Aurelius in some cases, but that's not grooming.
You gotta keep it short, otherwise they're not going to follow.
Well, yeah, you have to get them while they're young, right?
Let's see. I wonder if there's any good for this.
Around the world, while the window...
Not even allowing a child or young person to even witness in any way that there is anything other than being cis or straight at a young age.
Because that's the way they're supposed to be. I mean, if they will bring it up as how you should not act. That's what they will bring it up as.
Oh.
I just hope that's what they're doing.
Yeah, well the problem here is that they want a world where there is no binary. And the problem here is that a lot of this shit is based off of critical theory. So the idea of gender liberation theology and shit like that. That's what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, we're dealing with the people who are trying to hermeneutically destroy division so we're all one with God. Or one with the whole or whatever.
Yep, so so we can follow the tranny god, right?
Seriously, we need to continue what Distributus started, like the magical words, but have counter spells, like a book of counter spells. That's what we need.
Defense against the dark arts.
Oh, but you saw? Have you seen Mashal yet?
Nashal?
Mashal.
No.
Well, it's an anime. It's a parody of Harry Potter, but the main character is like One Punch Man.
You showed me that. I know what you're talking about.
Because he has no magic, but he smashes all their spells back at them with just a slap of his hand because he's just pumped up. And that's what we need. We need a Mashal spell book.
We need that, and we also need defense against the dark arts. That's ultimately what we need to do. Because apparently the world is becoming more and more dark, and we're going to have to answer the call of duty.
Oh, what do you mean becoming more? It's completely overrun by magic and chaos, and we got to bring order back.
Yep, we're basically gonna be street paladins and shit. Fucking, we're gonna bring the fight to the fucking heretics. And the problem here is new fucking information out there is let's just say that there's more information now that apparently the Fox News of all people, the Boomer Tube, they're apparently donating to the Church of Satan or Temple of Satan.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Like Planned Parenthood, right? Or what was it again?
Well, the nepotistic Kappa has some information for us.
They can make a donation, and Fox will match up to $1,000 annually. The charities that they brought to my attention, they're not what you might consider to be a typical charity. Like when you think charity, you think...
is like ESG or something?
No. Just keep watching.
American Spurs, Mercury One, and yes, those charities are on their website. You can donate to them if you're a Fox employee, and Fox will match up to $1,000, so maybe you'll see something from that at Mercury One, Glenn. But there are some other organizations that were there and available for employees to donate to. That shocked me.
It too, Fox News, really, it's come to this. We are actually discussing whether Fox News, the only allegedly conservative news publication out there, we are actually discussing whether they have been giving money to organizations like the Satanic Temple and the Trevor Project, which promotes trans children.
Go back. She did the fucking... Right there, her fucking hunt. She did the whole satanic horns. Watch, look. Go.
They have been giving money to organizations like the Satanic Temple and the...
She's fucking one of them.
Are you sure?
Oh, I don't know. She's fucking her producer and whatnot. They're off.
Almost got it.
Organizations like the Satanic Temple and...
Oh, fucking rock on, bro.
Well, that could be just a coincidence.
Maybe she instinctively did it because she's so fucking based in metal. I don't know.
And the Trevor Project, which promotes trans children, have
Should we go on, or which one?
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
asked before, I'll ask again, is there not one institution out there that has yet to be corrupted by the leftist agenda? My goodness. So we have this...
Everything not explicitly right will become left over time. So no.
Yep. It's the nature of time. You know, the entropy is the only way forward.
Yeah, when I hear that phrase, I always think of Irreversible, which I shouldn't, because I'm pretty sure that movie is demonically possessed.
I have never seen that fucking film, but at the same time, I'm thinking Michael Moordick or Michael Moorcock.
No, I wish. But basically, it's a movie about a story that's shown all in reverse. And it played out. It basically means a guy has a girl who's pregnant, and they go out for a party, and he's flirting with other girls. But when she leaves, she gets assaulted and is put into coma. And so he hunts down the attacker, only to kill the wrong person.
Oh, jeez.
And it ends with two guys having, like, these two gay men having a conversation, and the line is, time destroys everything.
Oh, jeez. Keep going.
From the Blaze.com exclusive, Fox News whistleblowers expose company support for far-left charities. So it's a very common thing in this day and age for companies, especially big companies, to have charitable programs that they give to. So it's kind of like, yeah, we're corporate overlords, but we also have these charities we support. So it balances out. And somehow, because the left, they're very crafty, they're very sneaky, they're very savvy, they've actually managed to convince people that supporting far-left causes should count as legitimate charity, just like, you know, trying to house homeless people or feed hungry children. You know, add transitioning kids through surgery so that, listen, you got yourself a good...
Why don't you just give money to the Soviet Union while you're at it? Good grief.
I just want to slap the... I don't know if it's like you just sped her up or anything, but she sounds hysterical when you talk. But just listen to how the tone.
Maybe this will make her sound normal.
Good time, right? But I digress. Let's get into this article. It explains that insiders have revealed to Blaze Media that Fox will subsidize some of the very activist groups that despise and seek the ruin of the network's viewers, evidencing a complete disregard and hatred for its core audience. Fox Giving, it explains, is an app in the company portal that facilitates charitable donations via the Canadian-based donation management platform.
Speed her up. She inject her with some Ritalin. Pump her full of that shit.
Via Canadian-based donation management? Course.
Well, yeah, that's where we're gonna get the That's where to get the frickin' pharmaceuticals. Dude.
Wait, are we even surprised by this? Honestly, like, should we even be surprised?
No, we shouldn't be surprised. I mean, let's be frank. We have a Canadian lecturing us about how to spend our money. A Canadian who's fucking her producer, and she's bitching about how the leftists and those dirty. I'm like, dude, you're dealing with evil. Like, do you not recognize evil? Fuck the left, fuck the right. We're literally dealing with goddamn Gnostics in some cases, mate. Like, just call them what they are. Name the fucking problem. Keep going.
Fox will apparently match donations up to $1,000 to various organizations that satisfy the company's criteria. Now, all of that sounds well and good, but here's where the problem arises. It says that the company is willing to match donations to the Satanic Temple, the Trevor Project, Planned Parenthood, and local branches, and the Southern Poverty Law Center, all of these being radical leftist groups. Now, there are a couple of things I think it's important that you guys understand about this story, because you may think, hey, I like Fox, I watch Fox, it doesn't really bother me what they might choose to...
Yeah.
I like
Tucker
Fox.
Carlson was the only thing good on it. Tucker Carlson was the only thing good on it.
I like Fox. Don't you like Fox? I like Fox. We should be friends. That's what I get out of it.
It's you like this corporate news outlet. Oh, I like this corporate news outlet.
No, we should be friends. We should just go drink soy at freaking soy latte for the caramel macchiato, whatever the hell it is, and let's go watch Breaking Bad. Keep going.
Give their money to, but understand that when you're watching Fox, if Fox is simultaneously donating to the Satanic Temple or the Trevor Project, you in essence are funding that, right? It's the money that you give the networks through watching ads and buying their products that they are then giving to these far left causes. So if you don't want your money supporting far left causes, if you are willing to boycott, Bud Light for partnering with Dylan Mulvaney, I think there's an argument to be made that there is just as much of a reason for boycotting Fox News if they are indeed giving to causes like the Southern Poverty Law Center. Because make no mistake about it, these charities are actively...
What they're giving money to the Satanic Temple, Lauren. Isn't that like the main objective here, or the Trevor Project? Like, dude, Luke, stop pausing her on these fucking clips, May.
It's just happens. I'm not doing it on purpose.
Jesus Christ, we're gonna have a clip show of some of these freaking weird posts, May. Jesus, keep going.
Trying to destroy conservatism and chip away at traditional values and.
Of course, it looks like
existence in general.
Keep going. She did.
Keep going. Southern Poverty Law Center, in specific, is a leftist grievance organization that tends to characterize conservatives, parental rights groups, constitutionalists, and those critical of big government as extremists and bigots. For instance, last month, the SPLC Moms for Liberty, an anti-government extremist group. It also talks about the controversy surrounding the Satanic Temple, which I don't think I need to explain. I mean, it's like literally the Satanic Temple. If you don't want your money going to fund the Satanic Temple, then maybe take it up with Fox. And I think this is an especially important story to highlight if you are pro-child in any way, because two of these groups in specific, the Trevor Project and Planned Parenthood, if you ask me, are not just radical leftist organizations, but they're actually outright evil organizations. It's written, the Trevor Project is an activist group that reportedly seeks to end suicide among LGBT.
Thank you. They're outright evil organizations. Now we're talking. Now we're playing with power, Luke. I mean, these people claim that they're pro-individual. Like, one of them claims to be pro-individual, not in pro-individual in the womb or unborn individual. Just keep that in mind. Keep going. Yeah.
LGBTQ young people, but actively promotes gender ideology and woke propaganda. The group claims that gender is a social construct and holds fast to the notion that sex change mutilations and cross-sex hormone therapies can be meaningful remedies for at-risk teens. Not only that, there have also been reports of the Trevor Project trying to create chat groups where basically at-risk LGBTQ teens can talk to Trevor Project counselors, i.e. groomers, behind their parents' backs. That brings us to Planned Parenthood. It's explained here that Planned Parenthood has...
Oh, which brings us back to this video.
Oh boy,
Real rumors.
Yep, and the thing is that these guys, these spiritual leftists, because that's what she needs to start using the term spiritual leftists, because that's what we're really ultimately dealing with. People
Witches.
who fall,
warlocks.
Spellcasters, motherfuckers. I think you and I might have to do our defense against the dark arts crap, because there are people out there who are legitimately trying to undermine our civilization and our way of life.
In the name of bringing us back to the one.
In the name... you know what? We're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about it. We're going to watch that fucking documentary.
Oh, really? We're going to watch all of it or just a portion of it?
We're just going to watch the part where they start talking about the freaking you-know-who.
Yeah, at least they admit it.
The Platonic Archonic Oppressor. Archonic.
See, where... Intro. Now, where are we talking about? I think it's right here.
In modern science today, there are many scientists searching for an all-pervading theory of everything, something that unifies quantum mechanics and the theories of relativity. And so today, we respectfully present to you the conspiracy theory of everything. I invite you to watch this with the intention of self-reflection, for as is the nature of consciousness...
Sorry, it's a bit of an intro.
...only creates more of the same cycle that we've been trapped.
I mean, it takes them 5 minutes to get to this point.
Liberating ourselves from the illusion is the only way to really break free of the shackles that bind us to our lower state of being.
Alrighty, here we go. The grand conspiracy theory of everything.
Blah, blah, blah.
Our conspiracy theory of everything begins first with the demiurge. The demiurge is an ancient Greek and Gnostic concept describing a consciousness that is considered to essentially be the creator of the physical universe, but not the supreme creative force behind all things.
Well, at least they admit it.
Jeez. So if we don't believe in the demiurge, how much of your bullshit is actually true? Like how much? Like for Marx, you have to believe in class struggle, right? Or else all the other bullshit goes away.
Well, his demiurge is capitalism. And the capitalists, because they commodified reality and blocked us from our true humanity.
Oh, and here's the thing that's also interesting is a lot of these far leftist, spiritual leftist causes, like this guy, they're very much pro-capitalist, but they're very much against big corporations because ultimately they just want to overthrow their archonic oppressors. That's what they want to do. They want to become Monsanto, don't you know?
Our first counterspell: there is no capitalism.
There you go. There is no capitalism, only Zool.
Breaking the wizard's circle, there is no capitalism.
There is no capitalism.
And if there's no capitalism, there's no socialism, and there's no demiurge, and we're not playing that game no more.
Yep, break the cycle. There has to be some way out of there. Keep going.
A good way to explore this idea is through The Matrix, a science fiction story that suggests everything we think we know of as the real world is nothing but an illusion, a false world within which most are imprisoned, unable to effectively identify what is...
The fucking demiurge, the actual real, like, he legitimately does look like he was a Colonel Sanders or some shit. Let's see.
Yeah, the simulacra. I mean, it's based on Baudrillard's Simulacra and Simulation, and he was just talking about how we manufacture reality that separates us from the real world. So we get to the point we manufacture so much around us we don't know what the real world's all about, which is the whole point.
Yeah, and Boltrite was a piece of shit. He was a hack.
Oh yeah, he was so self-important, but I mean his arguments are useful insofar as it explains how the enemy works.
There you go. This is the great archonic oppressor right here. The evil cis white male. He legit. That's what he looks like. That's what the lefties think. That's what the spiritual leftists believe in. They're frightened of the evil cis white male Southern gentleman looking motherfucker like this. And that's our fucking enemy.
As people go about their day-to-day lives, they think that their world is authentic.
Oh, and that reminds me of something that's even far more insidious about the girl in the red dress trial.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, because the whole point of that scene is that don't worry about killing people because they're connected to the system. Because every single person that the agents infect, they're a person they have to kill.
Right, exactly.
Which actually goes into because I recently read the Bhagavad Gita and I realized, holy cow, this Hinduism is satanic. It's evil. It's sociopathic.
It is. Would you like to talk about that?
The Bhagavad Gita. Well, basically, the Bhagavad Gita it takes place on the eve of a great battle to solve a world dispute, and the guy is having the one leading the battle is having a moral conflict because the people he's fighting against are his friends and family and loved ones, and he also knows that these people are great pillars of the community, and he's concerned that if I kill these people, not only am I a horrible person, I'm also destroying the future of civilization. And God is there, or rather the personification of God, the avatar of God is there, and he tells them basically a couple of things. First, at the end, he goes into a long digression of how he's just suffering from attachment, but he basically argues, oh, don't worry, they're going to get you can't actually kill them, they're going to get reincarnated, so their essence will be fine, which justifies killing them. And then he explains that you shouldn't be thinking about this because you are a warrior, and being a conscientious refusing to fight is shameful on your caste, which it means don't be a conscientious objector.
And now apply that same type of zealous principle to priesthood, or let's say, other parts of the caste system.
Oh yeah, because there's no way that this could be abused by a caste system. No way.
Yeah, and here's the thing about a lot of these alt-right types and all these traditionalist types. Yep, they're the ones who benefit from this system. So the best thing to do is to just not participate. Don't acknowledge the legitimacy. Just move on. That's the best thing to do. Keep going.
But that every individual is truly plugged into an artificial reality, severed from the real world. While people suffer, there is a tremendous benefit to the ruling overlords, who in the film were a form of AI. As it relates to us, this AI is in essence the Demiurge. The Demiurge was described as a force, a deity, or a consciousness, who was responsible for the creation of the physical world and reality. However, in a way, it had imposed itself over top of the true reality, the supreme oneness that created all things. In this, it was a false god who had assumed authority over the world, masking the living beings, namely us, from the supreme truth, the highest order of creation, and making us believe that what we experienced as real, the physical reality that we are a part of, was the true, authentic reality, even though it wasn't.
Xi Jinping is going to liberate you. Xi Jinping is going to liberate you from your archonic oppressor, because he truly has the gnosis about how to actually bring heaven on earth, don't you know? Mm-hmm. That's what we're dealing with.
Whether it be Hegel, Karl Marx, Rousseau, all these socialists and weirdos are saying, oh, we're telling you what the real world is. In fact, even there's a section in the volume of Das Kapital that says, let's pull the veil behind the curtain and find out what actually happens in the workplace. Like, ugh.
Wow. So he's cool.
He's pulling the curtain back. He's telling us the secret about how the world really is.
He's telling us because he knows this from firsthand experience, don't you know?
Mm-hmm. He's a mystic himself, and he's trying to apply this universally and explain why he's just a lazy parasite.
Yep.
And belief of different Gnostic sects, the Demiurge was either seen as something malevolent, deliberately trying to deceive us, or something that was simply ignorant or misguided of its place in the universe and the rest of creation, which led to us becoming lost in the illusion as a result. Said in simple terms, the Demiurge was the force behind the physical universe, but within our consciousness, so long as we perceived that which is physical to be real, we were slaves to the illusion of the false, or at least incomplete reality.
Or to put this in biblical terms, the Gnostic would argue that the God of the Bible is the Demiurge, and the serpent in the Garden of Eden was God talking to us, trying to correct us how to become one with God.
No, the serpent. What are you talking about, Luke? The serpent in the Garden of Eden was Jesus.
Well,
don't you know?
Jesus is technically inferior to the serpent because he just came later.
But no, there's an interpretation of the Gnostic text where it's Jesus who actually liberated Adam and Eve.
Oh yeah, I've heard people make that argument too.
Yeah.
The snake is actually Jesus, and the Father and the Son are in conflict with each other.
Yep.
Oh, there's so
Fucking
many different ways.
bullshit.
Like, Gnosticism and mysticism is just so, well, mystic. It's just so weird and ethereal. It could go in any direction.
Well, why do you think they keep marketing themselves every so many years to these people? Like, I'll have to do like a supercut of like every talking point. Like, I actually want to do a supercut of the Wizard of Oz, occult Wizard of Oz, because that has been done so many times. Owen Benjamin, Michael Black, I think Michael Tessarion, or whatever his name is, Mark Passio did it. Almost every single person eventually encounters the Wizard of Oz, and then they see the occult symbolism, and they all come to similar conclusions. It's all the same. It's all happened before.
To that end, these ancient people, at least those who were part of the ancient mystery schools, believed that the physical reality was an illusion. They sought to liberate themselves from the illusion of reality through varying spiritual practices, from meditation to plant medicine ceremonies and everything in between.
Get high, bro.
Just time is illusionary, man. Just get fucking stoned and just be so stoned all your life, and so that way you don't actually experience anything except with the inner light within, man. That's what you're dealing
honestly,
with.
when you read Marx, Hegel, and the Bhagavad Gita, it's probably just the limitation of the English translation, but they all sound like stoners. It's just they're incorporating all these buzzwords together with no explanation of what they are and no justification for anything they're doing. It's just
well, they're sophists. They're sophists. They're not stoners. Stoners at least can make good food. Like there are two things that you can know. The best food comes from pregnant women and stoners, because pregnant women have like a really, really distinct palate, right? And so do stoners. That's the one thing. At least the stoners can like be good chefs. All right. Look at Guy Fieri. Keep going.
In order to connect with higher realms of existence and break free of the false world by finding the truth, the supreme oneness within. This is because even the demiurge and the physical universe still stemmed from the supreme oneness, and the light of truth could be found within. Known to the Gnostics as Sophia.
They still live in a world based on rules, which means they'll never be as great as you are, so you won't have to dodge their bullets.
Yep.
Like looking back on it now, like that movie that movie was a blessing and a curse because everyone got the wrong message from it.
Which one would that be?
Matrix.
Yeah. Honestly, the whole you should have seen it from the beginning. Like the whole red pill, what the red pill means, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like transgender shit.
Yeah, which was fitting for the creators, I guess.
Yep. And we all know that if you want to become like God, who's all genders, you probably would try to chop off your dick as well and take the red pill, wouldn't you?
But the thing you have to remember about that scene is that there's one line everyone always forgets when he says, all I'm offering is the truth and nothing more.
Yep, and therefore you get to realize there actually is a God, and by knowing that there is a God and following this crazy path, you've alienated yourself from him. So why don't you just, go fuck kids on Epstein Island or something, right? Fuck.
Meaning wisdom in Greek, it was the act of awakening this divine spark within us that would return us to the higher realms, which became the ultimate goal of many Gnostic schools. This is where we find the roots of enlightenment and light concepts from around the world.
So this is the idea. This is all the presumptions behind everything in spirit science. This explains all their. I'm guessing this is the foundation of all their arguments and understanding.
Yep. This is their thesis, dude.
Their presupposition, let's see.
Teach that within this world of suffering, we can release ourselves from the illusion through various forms of mastery and self-discipline, both physical, emotional, and mental. This, of course, takes considerable effort and intention to do so. In essence, transcendent people do what is hard, and that's why their lives are easy. People in suffering do what is easy, and that's why their lives are hard.
I love the use of this imagery right here. This woman is standing in they're using all the imagery of the illusion to talk about how reality is an illusion. But that's the real world's good. It's a beautiful place. You need to stop destroying it.
But they're like insects who will lay its eggs in the eye sockets of children in Africa. Luke, don't you know? There's poverty and famine. It can't be the perfect world,
they get
right?
some DDT done in that sucker.
Jesus Christ. Keep going.
In essence, transcendent people do what is hard, and that's why their lives are easy. People in suffering do what is easy, and that's why their lives are hard. Fast forward to today, there is a tremendous volume of voices from across the internet, exploring ideas, concepts, and sharing a metric buttload of memes. But amidst the...
Yes, we are well aware of them.
Yeah.
And the leftists can't do a lot of them.
No, they can't. No, they can't, despite the fact that they understand them.
And they want to explain it in nauseating detail, even in their meme form.
Yeah, but that's why it fails, because the moment you explain the joke is the moment the joke is no longer funny.
Oh, there's a phrase that goes like this, like an explained joke is like a dissected frog. It's very interesting and everybody learns something, but the frog is still dead.
Yep. Sad.
Voices of the masses, we find a new concept emerging and being discussed in scientific and even some mainstream circles. An idea.
The scientific. Oh, here we go.
The science, Luke. The consensus.
Yeah, that proposes that
not even the consensus, just the made-up consensus, the manufactured consensus.
The manufactured consensus. Yeah, exactly. You get it now.
The entire universe, as we know of, is actually a hologram or a simulation of some kind. Scientifically speaking,
reality is a hologram. Ow! A hologram that really hurts.
Time is but if you killed in the Matrix, Luke, you die in real life. The body can't live without the brain.
Your mind makes it real and whatnot.
Oh, such bullshit. I mean, this is the type of shit that Abu probably watched, and then he thought he was going to be Neo.
Yeah. Matrix is good in itself, but it's not a metaphor for reality.
It really isn't.
I mean, that's the thing, though. They're in the real world, and it's like trying to jump between these two.
If we look at the cosmos from the perspective of quantum mechanics, there is a general acknowledgement that we really don't understand the universe like we thought we did.
Well, no, it's not that we don't understand it. It's just it functions in a way we didn't anticipate. Like, because quantum mechanics is just, it seems like random and chaotic, but yet the universe is still ordered. So what is the deal going on here?
Well, here's the problem with that, Luke. If that's the case, and you let these assholes fill in the blanks for you, guess what happens? You get the Sokol affair. You get the science wars in the 90s, where you get chemistry being racist and particle acceleration being fucking fat-phobic because, how dare those freaking tachyons move faster than those fucking, than the light waves, goddammit.
James Lindsay points out feminist glaciology. You ever heard that?
No, I want to hear it. Go on.
Basically, this was an article that was published in a scientific journal saying feminists understand glaciers better than other forms, and therefore masculine glaciology is inferior to ours. And one of the ways you do that is by incorporating local artwork and local feminist art. It's like indigenous artwork, and that was published in a scientific journal. And it's like, that's the science. That is the manufactured science there, my friend. And he told the story of how a woman who was like a scientist who read this, I couldn't believe it. I thought science was impervious to this nonsense, but nope, there it is.
Well, the scientist isn't, but the science is.
Mm-hmm.
We are seeing the building blocks of the universe, the subatomic particles, the waves, behaving in ways that do not make sense in the context of classical mechanics.
Not anticipated, not make sense, just not anticipated. Because people really need to stop having this, oh my gosh, I'm so shocked. Well, no, we don't know how realities work. We're still discovering it. Let's have a little bit of humility before reality, shall we? Let's stop thinking we're the center of the freaking universe.
Hang on. But what if it actually is white oppressors who are keeping black people on Earth? They are literally the gravity the gravity well that holds everybody on Earth.
That needs to actually translate in scientific language, my friend.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Either that, we just need to counterspell them.
That sounds like demiurge talk. I don't know.
You're the demiurge.
You're the demiurge.
Which reveal discrepancies in the laws of physics. Yet, the laws of physics still stand and apply in a practical sense when talking about our macroscopic world.
So does it matter?
The redhead in the Matrix is Beklov's ex-girlfriend. What redhead in the Matrix?
The woman in the red dress.
It's the woman in the red dress. Maybe. I thought he liked redheads.
He does. He definitely does. But I don't think of the woman. Maybe I think she was a redhead. I gotta look that up again.
She was a blonde, dude.
Oh yeah, blonde. Definitely.
Yeah, she was a blonde. And now we're looking at the Death Star plans for some reason because I guess I was zoning out a bit.
Yeah, definitely a centerfold blonde.
Oh jeez, let's go to the Death Star.
The reality that we live in operates by rules that we have yet to uncover. The holographic universe seems in principle to be very much like how you might expect a movie and a projector to work in tandem. When you watch a movie, you enjoy it linearly, going through it one frame at a time, usually at 24, 30, or 60 frames per second. The stories on the screen follow a narrative of some kind, and generally speaking, there are definite laws that make up the universe you are experiencing in the film. Yet, the quantum world, on the other hand, is like being able to observe the entire roll of film timelessly at any point, which includes zooming in on individual frames, playing things backwards, forwards, the sequels and prequels all at the same time. The particles and waves that make up our reality are nonlinear and could potentially imply notions of...
I don't even see the code anymore. I don't even see the code anymore. I just see blonde, brunette, redhead.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what it is. Speaking of blonde, brunette, and redhead, Angel Eyes, our good friend Angel Eyes, he's still fucking. Well, let's just say he's been having some things. I'm getting bored with this whole demiurge stuff. I mean, let's be frank. I serve the demiurge. That's what I do. And there's a reason why we don't talk to all. We hide our Gnostic posts and shit. Here you go, Luke. Because this is the type of shit that we're dealing with.
And what is this?
This is why...
Me looking at the call from my mom while I'm watching the Riley Reid compilation. Uh-huh.
Riley... Why is there a Riley Reid compliment? Is he watching porn?
Well, I'm assuming so.
I don't even, like... I didn't know that, like, she was, like, famous enough to have a complimation, you know? When I think of famous porn stars and they have a complimation, I'm thinking, like, fucking, what the hell's his name? Not John. Johnny Wad, shit like that.
Well,
that's what I'm thinking.
I imagine that if you're in the industry long enough, virtually anyone can have a compilation.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, did they actually have fans? Like, people who will watch Riley Reid exclusively?
If you watch them long enough.
These people need to get fucking shagged. For real.
Or get a better hobby, at least.
Yeah, don't... Put it back in your pants. Keep going.
This is a perfect illustration of Sigmund Freud's Madonna horror complex. We are given a direct confrontation between the two elements of the anima, the two elements of the feminine archetype in man. One is the porn star, the thing that is degraded, that is kept down, and one is the morally elevated, high, maternal force.
C.S. Lewis did better, the terrestrial and the infernal Venus.
Really? Explain that one to me.
Well, the terrestrial Venus is supposed to be a version of womanhood that's more amenable to God and his demands for the Christian. And I like how C.S. Lewis describes the infernal Venus is a woman that he desires brutally and desires to desire brutally.
Ooh. So he wants her to want him.
And want her in the worst, like, savage way possible. And he would say... It's something he would describe in a word as ugliness, but thanks to our arts, can play on the raw nerve of his sexual obsession, of his personal private obsession.
Oh, jeez. So basically the Whore of Babylon, essentially, or Crowley's red whore, red woman.
And in regards to his Christianity, he says, the purpose of the infernal Venus is no doubt his a prostitute or mistress. And don't worry about him being a Christian. He could be excused. He can be, if you trick him into thinking of all excusing love, you can trick her into marrying him into marrying her, with many positive results from that.
Uh-oh, that's not good. Take note, Lauren Southern. Keep going.
He also describes it as, this woman would most likely be a slave, an idol, or an accomplice.
So a slave, an idol, or accomplice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that basically describes everyone at the Blaze, or even or the Rebel, even the Rebel media. Yeah, mm-hmm. Like whether it be seriously, yeah.
In this case, literally the mother. This confrontation is constantly avoided. You know, there's the line, the type of girl that you want to bring back home to your mother. And of course, Riley Reid is not that. That is the illustration of Freud's Madonna horror complex. There are types of women who men want to sleep with, and that's it. And types of women that men want to start families with.
This separation is, of course, illusory. This is a product of neurosis. Hello, this is Meme Analysis, and today I thought we would dig a bit deeper into the Madonna horror complex, which I talked about in the TikTok you just watched. Seeing as it
this guy's fucking he knows how to get the chicks, dude. He knows how to do it. He's going to TikTok of all places.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to get the young ones when they're young. Keep going.
On TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff, there's a good amount of interest in understanding a bit more about this complex. It is a very significant one to our culture, to our sexuality.
Well, it's just a culture that has a porn addiction. Where everyone can have a porn addiction.
You know, I heard earlier there was a gentleman, I think Camelot, I believe his name was. He was talking about how a lot of these conservatives want to ban porn, and I'm like, dude, just get yourself a router and learn how to like block things on the router level. Learn how to do that.
It's for the sake of civilization, you know.
Yeah, so that way they actually have a platform instead of actually, arguing for, let's say, incentives for like families to be born, or incentives for, let's say, if we decide to like leave a country and instead of leaving all the weapons over there, you could like have a buyback program. I wouldn't mind having a Mark 18 Mod 0. Just saying, keep going.
And so I thought I would give what I consider to be one of the best resources on the subject, which is Wilhelm Reich, the brilliant student of Freud, who I've talked about quite a bit on this channel, especially his concepts about orgone, energy, the importance of libido, the importance of vital physical energy, which I'm a little bit short on right now. I'm running on no sleep, just a warning. So let's give a read to Wilhelm Reich's Sexual Revolution.
Oh, God. Okay, so we need to talk about who Wilhelm...
Yeah, because Sexual Revolution from the guy named Reich, that's going to work out so well.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have ourselves a wonderful time. Look, let me see if I can just pull up something from YouTube. Let's see, because I know this guy talked a massive amounts of shit. Okay, here we go. You can read this, Luke, and have your computer read it off, or your little text to chat. Just read the first part of the first introductory paragraph of Wikipedia.
I will in just a sec.
There we go.
Views of the Madonna horror complex. So, because of the demand for the girl's chastity, the young males are deprived of love objects. This, all at once, produces several conditions which were not intended by the social order, but which necessarily derive from the form of its sexual system. Adultery becomes the counterpart of monogamous marriage, and the chaste young women are supplemented by prostitutes. Thus, adultery and prostitution are an integral part of a double-standard sexual morality, which permits the men before as well as during marriage what, for economic reasons, it must deny the women. But the natural demands of sexuality bring about the opposite of what a strict sexual morality intended. Immorality, in the reactionary sense of adultery and extramarital relationships, evolves into two grotesque social phenomena: sexual perversion and venal sexuality.
Oh god, he's using fucking tarot. What the fuck?
Uh-huh.
He's using fucking tarot. Now he's trying to get frigging people to, like, I don't know. He's trying to get people to, he's cold reading people. Did you get it working yet?
Oh, here we go. Here's see if this works.
So who is Wilhelm Reich? Who is this fucking
Wilhelm
German?
Reich was an Austrian doctor of medicine and a psychoanalyst, a member of the second generation of analysts after Sigmund Freud. The author of several influential books, The Impulsive Character, 1925, The Function of the Orgasm, 1927, Character Analysis, 1933, and The Mass Psychology of Fascism, 1933.
Oh, he's one of those guys.
He's one of those. He's the one who wants to destroy, where all authoritarianism is freaking. Yeah. It's fascism.
Fascism isn't socialist. It's natural. Like,
it's the natural order of things, don't you know? So we have to overcome our archonic oppressors, because eventually some Nazi will take over everything.
It's fascism isn't socialist. It's a reaction against socialism. Like, okay.
Tarot cards. What is the House of the Dead? I don't know what the House of the Dead is. Keep going.
Depends on the person you ask at the moment you're asking it.
So what else do we have?
He became one of the most radical figures in the history of psychiatry. Reich's work on character contributed to the development of Anna Freud's The Ego and the Mechanisms of Defense, 1936, and his idea of muscular armor, the expression of the personality in the way the body moves, shaped innovations such as body psychotherapy, Gestalt therapy, bioenergetic analysis, and primal therapy. His writing influenced generations of intellectuals. He coined the phrase, the sexual revolution, and according to one...
Did he now?
He did. So Little Angel Eyes is shooting a little bit above his weight, isn't he?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's good to know that these pieces of shit are actually the ones that help shape the modern world. You know? It's disgusting. Spiritual leftism, cultural cancer, every time.
One historian acted as its midwife. During the 1968 student uprisings in Paris and Berlin, students scrawled his name on walls and threw copies of The Mass Psychology of Fascism at police.
Oh yeah, don't burn the books, throw them at the cops.
Throw them at the cops because you don't want to be responsible. That's what that is.
Inside of marriage. Since sensual activity generally takes place outside of marriage in the marketplace, a tender relationship with the sexual partner naturally suffers. The young man splits his sexuality by gratifying his sensual needs with a woman of the lower classes, while bestowing his tender feelings on a girl of his own social circle. This split, together with the linking of sensuality and monetary gain, results in a complete degradation and brutalization of love.
It's called adultery, you twit.
He's trying to like doll up fucking being a whore.
It's just cheating. That's what a guy wants to cheat. He'll find a woman to cheat with, and preferably a woman they can keep out of sight.
Yeah, somebody who knows how to keep her fucking mouth shut.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Life. Its most important repercussion being widespread venereal diseases, which also unintentionally become an essential part of the conservative sexual order. The struggle against prostitution, sexual...
Oh, conservatives create their own problems. There it is.
Yep, and at the same time, they're like, what would you be without us? We're part of you. We're your dark half, and therefore you have to accept us. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, because only conservatives cheat on their spouses, not the liberals. The people who normalize cheating as, like, to normalize, like, sexual promiscuity.
Intercourse outside of marriage and venereal disease is pursued under the watchword asceticism, in accord with the view that sexual intercourse is moral only within marriage. The ostensible dangers of extramarital sexual activities are used as apparent proof of its perniciousness. The reactionary authors themselves affirm the impossibility of asceticism as an effective protection against venereal
Look at this
disease.
fucking here's a fucking earring. Look at that shit. You know this type of guy. You've seen this guy before at Hot Topic.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen him. I don't know. Keep going. Skip ahead.
That end of marital morality. Even though venereal diseases are caused
there we go.
Youth leads to this division. It's what provides the division between, well, that's the good girl that you want to bring home, and then, oh, the girl with the body count is disgusting. But
it's called puberty, genius.
It's called puberty. It's also called the form meets function fucking.
Yeah, because when you hit puberty, you don't care about body count. You just want to have sex. That just happens.
You know, speaking of body count, I actually completely forgot about this, but I was starting to watch that, Chainsaw Man anime.
Oh, yeah.
I actually like it. I like it. I think it's very interesting.
It is.
Because it's a coming of age tale. It's actually really nice. I like it because his
yes.
priorities are fucked, of course, but at the same time, like it's magical realism in a lot of ways because they never explain where devils come from. They never talk about it. Yeah,
and
they're just there.
Have you seen that one scene where he's like Shinji's kind of depressed because he's finally had to cope a feel on breasts, and he's like depressed, and he's thinking, are all my dreams going to be like this, achieving a goal, not being satisfied by it? And the director is very starts explaining how relationships ought to work.
Jeez.
Although, but it was simultaneously manipulating him so she'll do her bidding.
Yeah, honestly, like I like it because I love the character design because I just love beautiful eyes, and some of these chicks have some of those beautiful fucking eyes out there. Not to mention, they do. Yeah, keep going.
But in fact, the whole system is a loop that promotes itself, and married men get with those girls, with the girls you don't want to marry, and married women get with the men that they don't want to marry. In marriage, before marriage. You know, it's all maintaining itself because of this moral elevation of marriage.
Well, that's only possible because of birth control.
Yep, and even then, like, you know, some of these women would actually kill their kids and like actually like rip out their have like really fucked up abortions. Wow, look at those eyes, those fucking.
I wonder if that's supposed to indicate that she's insane or demonic.
They're demonic. They're like legitimately devils and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're called devils for a reason. Lawful evil motherfuckers.
Well, in the very pantheistic sense, where the separation between God and divine are just a matter of degree and not kind. So yeah.
Well, it's also the fact that it's that Japanese Gnosticism shit, right?
Mhm.
When there's like where it's somehow an allegory for capitalism or something.
Yeah, stupid magic.
Yeah, fucking A.
Because the sexuality is split. There's it's a schizophrenic culture. Culture is in its very essence, especially with the turn of the century, as Reich describes in the book, it schizophrenizes itself further and further.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
No, it's like society saying, no, this is right, you shouldn't do it, and we want to do the wrong thing. That's the only schizophrenia. Like, I know what the right thing is, but I don't want to do it.
That, and also the fact that there are people out there who are trying to legitimize the pimp and the whore house being right on the side of the street, saying, "Oh, you just don't like it. You want to fuck my good-looking girls, but you don't want to actually have me by, on the main street, right?" It's very much, like you said, he's trying to inject whores and immorality into the conversation about culture, when in reality it doesn't belong there to begin with. It really doesn't. These people are immoral and to be removed.
Let's have a little look at Romans 7, shall we? For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelt no good thing, for to wit the present in me, but how to reform which is good I find not. For the good that I would do not, but the evil which I would not do, I do. Because that's just the constant conflict.
Well, I'm gonna keep moving on from here. We're gonna move on from here because I'm getting bored here. But I just thought it would be interesting to keep an eye on that.
But that's another thing that Gnostics are brilliant at, like making something so simple, like several pages long.
Yep, they're very good at their craft. They're very much like the original gender studies people.
Brevity is the soul of wit, and that's the wit we must use.
Here we go.
Ooh, how artificial intelligence being used in the housing market. What? Well, come on, talk about Hollywood.
Here we go.
And justifying the destruction of Hollywood, or hopefully improvement.
Hopefully.
And speaking of AI, it could save you time and money if you're looking to buy a new home. It's now being used for home buyers and renters. Our business and tech reporter Scott Budman is here to show us how it works. Scott, AI is being used for everything, it seems like these days.
It does seem that way, Janelle. Good evening. Trying to rent or buy in our current housing market can be frustrating. It can be expensive, and it's almost always time-consuming. But companies that work with both renters and buyers are now turning to the hottest thing in tech right now to try to make that search a little easier. In a super tight housing market, searching online is becoming passé. Now companies like Pinata think they have a faster solution.
It's really about giving them access to instant content and information.
That's Pinata CEO Lily Liu talking about AI, helping customers find apartments and houses to rent by taking in all it can about the renter, then scouring all it can about the local market.
It's really based on massive amounts of data, including rental pricing, geolocation data, rental market data.
Save a lot of visitation time, that's for sure.
That, but what's also interesting is that how could this be perverted against people? How could this be weaponized? Think about that. Keep going.
I'd love to hear your theory on that.
Keep going.
Data specific to the renter as well.
AI is also on the hunt for homes to buy. Zillow, which knows people search its site for houses all the time, says the tech could be key to creating a faster, more efficient way to get a new place.
We have algorithms that will personalize the search results for them.
Algorithms that can drill down to quickly find exactly what a buyer is looking for, city by city, room by room.
So we built some new AI models that bring all of the media, all the information about these rooms together, and then we recommend to the agent which photos and which rooms we think are the most noteworthy to showcase to a potential buyer.
From budgets to backyards, it's technology that aims to find you the perfect match.
Oh my God, 6K?
What's that?
600K for a fucking home.
Well, for
it's in Georgia of all places. Nice.
See, how big is that? Oh, how many rooms is that? 5 bedrooms, 5 baths. Whew.
That's actually. I would love to have space like that.
A nice big backyard.
Oh, dude,
nice.
Based, freaking based.
Oh,
anyhow.
$610,000.
I noticed that. Like 2,500 square feet. That isn't here.
Obviously not in the Bay Area.
Those AI features, by the way, from Zillow will roll out gradually city to city. Everyone will be able to use them in about a month or so.
Okay. AI
Hollywood is a lost cause. Hollywood is a lost cause. Because, California is a lost cause. It's a slow wreck. It's like the fucking Titanic, man. It's slowly going downhill. Here you go, Luke. Another one.
What's this?
Better living
Back in that
conditions.
area, they moved off the streets and into a city-owned motel in San Jose, and now they say they're living in deplorable conditions. NBC Bay Area's Marianne Favreau is in San Jose with a look at what's being done to try to fix this problem.
Several residents who live here say for months they have complained about roaches and mold in their units, but they say so far nothing has been done. So today they took their complaints directly to city code enforcement. Laura LaForme says it's enough to make your skin crawl. She says everywhere she turns in her apartment, she finds roaches. She said they also invade her dog's water bowl. And she says even though she keeps her place clean, the problem persists.
Get some pesticides. That's what you need, some.
Well, you can't because it's government-owned property, so they have to get someone from the government.
Gotta get permission, right?
Yep.
In the middle of the night, there were 3 roaches in our bed. I just threw off the sheets and freaked out.
She lives at the former Sure Stay Motel on 1st Street in San Jose. The city purchased the property during the pandemic to provide housing for the homeless. Today, several residents protested at City Hall, not just about the roaches, but about the...
I've actually been to a place like that. It's very close to it, in fact. There's a Denny's right there.
A what?
And
okay.
there's a Denny's right by there. I knew I'd recognize it from somewhere. There's a big bad roach problem on in the city of San Jose. Anyhow, like you go on the street like at night, those things are just everywhere. They're every fucking where. Yeah, it's fucking near shithole.
In their apartments.
Black mold problem. Ooh.
Yeah, black mold.
They can't get rid of it?
No, they won't get rid of it.
We gotta love the government.
Yep.
For sure. And the cockroaches are evil. They jump and run.
The residents say nobody with the city of San Jose has stepped in to help. 7 of them filed formal complaints today with city code enforcement. The city housing department says it already met this month with residents about their concerns and plans to meet with them again in August to follow up. Homeless advocates say the city is moving too slowly. So these people...
they're formerly homeless.
Yep. Well, they're formerly homeless. Exactly. So these people... There's a lot of homeless in fucking in the valley, man. It's like Night City. Everyone's either a billionaire corpo or a fucking bum.
California created Elysium.
No, they created freaking... They've created, cyberpunk. They kind of did in a lot of ways.
Or is... It's hard to say. Is it Cyberpunk or is it Final Fantasy VII?
How do you figure it's Final Fantasy VII?
Let's see. The rich people live on top of the poor people, and they'll let the rich areas smash the poor.
So what, like Coruscant?
A Shinra or something, yeah.
Nah, I don't fucking know. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, be good to one another. Take care. Luke, we're gonna end it here. Do you have any final thoughts?
Just this one.
You don't frighten me. Nothing so horrible could be real. I deny you.
Deny me, and you deny all magic. Say it then.
I deny all magic.
Yep, deny all magic, but at least be consciously aware that people will use it. Ladies and gentlemen, be good to one another, take care of one another. Remember, saving the West is a side quest. This is the Digital Renegade Podcast. Out.